Free will is the idea that we are free to make whatever choices we want. From things as simple as clicking this video to more complex ones like choosing a political party, we decide what to do and when to do it. But what if free will is just an illusion? This is a serious question because if we aren't in control, then we can't be held accountable for our actions. Any actions, from cheating to domestic violence. Well, this is the exact issue that neuroscience brings up. See, neuroscientists are finding out that our mind, thoughts, and ideas can all be traced back to the brain's inner workings. To them, you are like a supercomputer, with your brain being the main processor in charge of everything. But the problem is, our brain is running off a predetermined set of rules. This is because your brain is shaped by two things: genetics and environmental factors. Now, you can't control your genetic makeup. You're also stuck with whatever environment you're born into. Furthermore, the neural activities in the brain which give rise to thoughts are governed by laws of physics. You can't control these laws any more than the law of gravity. So, if you can't control the decision-making process, how can you control your decisions? Now, the first thing you might retort with is, I can prove free will exists by moving my hand whenever I want to. It does seem that free will is too intuitive to be false. But consider this study by neuroscientist Dr. Fried. He asked subjects to simply press a button whenever they wanted to. Now, this choice seems like pure free will, right? But Dr. Fried was observing the signals coming from the part of the brain involved in planning movement. The results were surprising. Turns out, before the idea to press the button even came into the subject's mind, he could predict exactly when they would press the button based off the rising levels of neural activity. This suggests that our subconscious brain is already deciding before we're even conscious of it. We are then tricked into believing we control our lives, when in reality, we're only helpless observers. Now, to some degree, you already understand that your free will is limited. Just imagine a murderer being put on trial. If it turned out he had a tumor in his brain, which made him mentally insane, you would be more forgiving, right? You'd blame it on the tumor, not the person. Well, this argument is just the logical conclusion. Take the extreme case of psychopath Uday Hussein, son of Saddam Hussein. To give you a taste of his evilness, this man has been known to crash wedding parties, to rape, torture, and kill the bride-to-be. In one case, there were acid burns left on the victim's face, with clumps of peeled flesh left behind. Now, I'm not saying Uday isn't a monster, but consider this. fMRI scans show that psychopaths' brains are fundamentally different. Normally, if you present a person with an emotional picture, such as a person getting hurt, the parts of the brain responsible for emotion and empathy light up. If you present the same image to a psychopath, they understand what's going on. But these emotion-related areas do not light up and they don't feel anything. So, while it's confronting, can you really say it's Uday's fault that his brain was wrongly wired? Then factor in Uday's horrifying upbringing. At the age of 5, he went with his father to witness a live execution. At 10, he was shown videos of Saddam's enemies being tortured. Just imagine these immense cultural and family pressures he grew up in. I guarantee if you grew up in such an environment, you would be just as messed up. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't be sent to jail. Society would be safer without him. But the idea of punishing Uday as a form of revenge is wrong because he isn't to blame. So, this idea challenges the fundamentals of our legal system and morality. Currently, we harshly condemn criminals, from murderers to pedophiles. But, in reality, they've just had unfortunate circumstances, whether it's their genetics or a bad upbringing. However, I suggest that perhaps this is a better way of looking at things. We're always so quick to blame people without thinking about the context they're in. We blame drug addicts for lacking discipline, depressed people for being too weak, and criminals for doing unforgivable acts. But the truth is, if we were in their exact positions and somehow switched brains with them, we would be the same too. In the end, I know the illusion of free will is so strong that we'll still think we're free anyway. But if you give up on the idea of free will just a little bit, it is an opportunity to practice empathy and patience with others. And that is definitely something we need more of.